I think Allie Center gets into this game based off of your lineup, perhaps as a player of impact. And I want to see it. I want to see it. I think this is a player, I think in our preview that I was really, really high on. And honestly, I think the coaching staff is high on as well. I'm going to just remind folks some of the chatter ahead of this window with Ali Sentnor. This is a player that the coaching staff has had their eye on.
The final game of 2024 for US against the Netherlands. Keys to the match, Sandra. What do you need to see from this US women's national team side, especially against a powerhouse like the Netherlands?
It's so simple. And I hate to simplify it, but we got to see some goals. They cannot come out of this window. They can't close out 2024 without any. There is no triple espresso. I think that was probably the biggest opportunity that this roster knew that they had going into this camp. Who's going to step up? Who's going to have that shining moment without a Rodman, Smith, or Swanson in the mix? But I would argue coming out of that England game, maybe there's a little bit of a sub opportunity here for the midfield to shine a little bit more, which is maybe why I want to see some more of that rotation. I want to see a middle third here that not only sets tempo but helps sustain that tempo and really help control the game. And fingers crossed, it's going to be Lily Johannes leading the way in that.
How much pressure is going to be on Johannes and the US's midfield? Because against England, the US and their midfield had to work pretty hard. How is that going to be different against the Netherlands, or will it be the same?
Well, I think for me, there's always going to be some layer of pressure, but I think that's what makes Johannes such a special player and makes so many others maybe kind of rate her as highly as they do. Because despite her being such a young player, this is we're still talking about a teenager here. She's playing in these games with a level of gamesmanship that you see amongst more experienced, more seasoned and decorated players. She is out there and doesn't necessarily look panicked by any means. And we've gotten to see that in a couple of what could be considered maybe high stakes games. We got to see her during Champions League last campaign and what she could produce for Ajax and not really intimidated by going up against opposing teams that did have those experienced players. And we got to see her make her debut last in ahead of the Olympics. What was in June, where she wasn't intimidated by that either. And you're talking about a very specific window of time in which you as a young player are tasked to try to deliver. And she did that. We're talking about coming into the final 15 minutes of a game and head on a swivel, already looking to connect immediately. We're watching long, swift balls over the top to Rodman. And then this player not only is connecting, but getting a goal on
Yeah,
her debut.
yeah.
So making history as she goes. So of course, is there going to naturally be some layer of pressure that comes with that? Yeah, of course. But I think this is a player that can match that energy.
I hope so. I think the pressure is there. The skill is definitely there for Johannes, and she has the US's and Emma Hayes and the team's belief behind her, which is only going to help Johannes. For the US in this match, attacking wise, they have to be so keyed in on their game plan. And they have to do a really good job of creating chances in a variety of ways, getting the ball wide, creating set pieces, drawing corner kicks, sending crosses into the box, using the central challenge channel of the field with Lily Johannes, Rose Lavelle, getting on the ball in between the half spaces, driving at the back line, little curl outs. Of course, it all depends on the personnel that Hayes goes with, especially in the attack. But there has to be moments where the Netherlands feels like they are just suffocated with how much attack and chances created that the US is throwing at them. That would be, even if it ends, I think, this is a crazy prediction, but even if it still ends scoreless for the US, say a nil-nil draw, but the US create so many chances and have so much momentum and opportunities, and they hit the post and they're just all over the place creatively, it'll be a step in the right direction, especially from the England game. Because without triple espresso, you have to have players that can create magic in the front line. Christine, when you think about it, whether it's your starting front three or front four in the attack for the US, what needs to happen in this game against the Netherlands?
Finishing, freaking finishing, man. Like they know how to do it. We know they know how to do it. I think that the second half, obviously, like the creation of chances, Yasmin Ryan was a huge improvement from the starting lineup. It just they need to figure out boot, back in net, because we know that they can all do it individually. Alyssa Thompson's been on a hot streak, and this is just me talking about my top line because I have selfishly already blocked all of yours out of my brain. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we know that Lynn has come up big. She can get the job done. The storyline with Lily Johannes, if she were, I'm just saying, to pop in and score a goal this game, um,
Oof.
I think I would lose my goddamn mind. No, I definitely would. I definitely
Yeah,
would.
we all
I
would.
I need I need this. Let's speak it all into existence. But yeah, I mean, obviously the goals can come from anywhere. We can have Jaden Shaw pull up, but I think that connection with the midfield and the top line needs to get better. I thought Rose was great last game. Um, Maybe some of the switching up will improve that. But yeah, like ball back in it. We
Yeah,
could do it. I know it. Like
it's got to
let's
happen.
let's get in there. You have players on the top. Okay, Alyssa Thompson's great at 1v1s. She's young though, right? Like we know what she can do. Yasmin Ryan again, a little bit less experienced. I feel like we need to have some experience in there, and that's why I know some of you in the chat are like, "Girl, not Lynn," but I think that Lynn adds a little bit of that foundation.
Yeah, and Lynn counter pressing against England was phenomenal,
Yeah.
Yes.
phenomenal. I
As an
don't think
organizational, yeah, as even just an organizational point, yes.
right, but
Yeah,
that's also because England had a mid to low block.
yeah.
Netherlands isn't
Yep.
going to do that. They're
I
not
think
going
if
No.
they
And
get a
also, they're
goal.
gonna bring the physicality. That's the one thing that I'm a little bit concerned about, because as somebody that hoarded physicality and, like, likes that rough and tumble hard tackling, like elbowing, like teeth gnashing, like, Alyssa Thompson, that's a big ask for somebody that could become a target. We need somebody that can kinda knuckle up in there. That's where I think Sandra with that howl shout was pretty sound. Um, Even Lily, though, she's pretty good as, like, light and string beanie as she is. Um, it's familiar terrain, like, she's
yeah, she's used to
deceivingly
this.
strong, right, she's deceivingly strong and tough.
I'm not going to stand for the Lynn Williams slander. I'm going to just make this comment on it. And this is why we're placing so much emphasis on the goals. Because if this USWNT gets even one goal against England in the previous game, I don't think people are talking this way about Lynn Williams. Her counter pressing was 100% effective during that England game, and it was necessary for what they were presenting to the United States. They get a goal, maybe you're just like, look at Lynn Williams out there doing her job. And she was still out there doing her job. They just didn't get any goals to show for it.
There's a lot of slander happening in our chat. We're not going to stand for it, everyone. We're not
Damn, man. I
standing
mean, like, I
for it.
can understand the Haran chitter chatter because, like, she gets it either way. But, like, Lynn, fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's talk game changers for
Yeah.
this US side. We've given our lineups. Who is maybe unlikely to start but needs to change the game, Sandra? Someone that you want to see
All
get minutes, get time, get a cap, whatever it may be.
right. All right. Since you were the winner of the starting lineup poll,
Say it louder
I'm
for the
gonna
people in the back.
my girl winner. Look, I'm gonna go off of yours. So removing my bold 11, I think Ali Center gets into this game based off of your lineup, perhaps as a player of impact, and I want to see it. I want to see it. I think this is a player. I think in our preview that I was really really high on, and honestly, I think the coaching staff is high on as well. I'm gonna just remind folks some of the chatter ahead of this window with Ali Sentnor. This is a player that the coaching staff has had their eye on for a little while, that they may be targeted as a player to get in more in the mix of that futures camp that we've been hearing about for January in the buildup to their plan for 2027 and 2028. But because of the 2024 that Centnor continued to have, both for club and for country at the U20 level, they said, you know what? This kid here, maybe a little bit of schedule as far as her development and her talent. And they wanted to bring her in for these European friendlies. You're bringing in a talent that you have that much belief in. Get this kid some minutes. I
Yeah,
want to see
for sure.
center come in and have an impact.
And more than what, 4 minutes or 3 minutes at the end of
Correct.
the game, plus some
Correct.
stoppage time.
Correct.
What would be ideal? Like a 60-minute sub for Setnor, Sandra?
Yeah, I'd like to. We're
Okay.
talking at least. Give me at least 15 here
I
for
respect
everything.
that. I respect that. Christine, what about you? Non-starters, players that probably aren't going to start, but you need to see get minutes in this game to end 2024.
I mean, honestly, Fallon Tullis Joyce. Like, I know I didn't put her in my starting 11, but like, I want to see based on her performance with United this season, how she's acclimated to WSL so quickly and has outperformed even her past form, like yeah, two words good today, Coop. Um, outperformed herself. I think I would like to see how she gels with this team. I know this isn't, the team per se, because obviously triple espresso, whatever, in its entirety. But I think I just want to see the chemistry. I want to see that she's able to command that back line, knowing how competent they are. I don't know that she's had that ilk of defending in front of her ever. And so I just want to see how this all works out.
Yeah. How about you,
Lily,
Lisa?
Lily Johannes, she gets a shout. Hal Hirschfeld's getting a shout in the chat. Ali Setnor getting shouts. Defenders, my friends. Emily Sams, put her on the pitch, everyone.
Yes.
Let's see what
Yes.
Emily Sams can do against big competition like the Netherlands that are going to ask questions of the U.S. defensively, whether it's shots from distance, their physicality. How can Emily Sams handle the front line of the Netherlands and what they throw at this US side? Give her time, give her minutes. I don't care if it's alongside Germa or Sonnet or whoever she's playing with. Give Emily Sam some times. Perhaps a sub off the bench if she doesn't get a start. I'll take it. But
Yeah.
Lily Johannes as well, but it has to be Emily Sams. You have to
That's a
see it.
great shout. I know we were already like beating that drum and ready to riot around Olympics because we wanted to see her legitimately get quality minutes. Like let's go. She's ready. She's been a force, man. Like how can you deny that all season long? And she like plays to the last gasp. There's never this lazy moment or a misstep. She's locked in. I love her. She's quickly become my defensive darling. And I'm not usually tooting horns for defenders. I'm
You're
very
not.
big on my midfielders.
Usually pretty quiet about the defense. So bring the horns on. Okay, we have to do score predictions. Just see who's right, see who's wrong. Let us know in the chat your scoreline prediction. USA against the Netherlands. Sandra, I'm starting with you first.
Give me some goals and give me that sweet, sweet, clean sheet. Let's go 2-0 USA.
Ooh,
Woo! I like
goals.
it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Oh man, I'm gonna go 2-1. I want to say like I'm gonna be conservative, just as I did with my little lineup there. I'm gonna say 2-1. Maybe they get one off. But I need to see goals this game. If we end up with a 0-0 draw again, I'm walking into the sea.
And we need to see goals. I just don't think it's going to happen. 1-0 USA get a win. They get a
Fair.
win
Woo!
and they get a
Fair.
clean
I
sheet.
think that's fair.
1-0.
Oh,
1-0.
SD Miller calling out Shaw with the single goal. Let's see. Let's see.
People
Ooh,
putting goal
perhaps.
scorers in the chat. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, they're even dropping goal scores.
I love
Molly
it.
Martha,
Schermer.
hat trick, Molly, girl. I love where your head's at. That's wild.
Love
Oh,
it.
that's amazing. Hey, she almost got there.
Uh-huh.
Schermer